Alright. We finally got a Protoss in this game. However, our red Zerg down at the bottom right-hand side of Shakuris is RoChan. Is Ro a team? I don't know. Someone has to inform me this shit, because I don't know. Sorry, just reading some things. Anyway, and his opponent, the Protoss, finally we get to see a Protoss, the best race in StarCraft 2, is HoneyBadger, and he doesn't give a fuck. He's going to be our green Protoss on the left-hand side. Shakuris, very interesting map for PvZ. You can do some crazy things with Blink Stalkers. If anyone has watched Liquid Hero stream, you may see him do a blink attack that involves blinking down here, and then just proceeding across here, and then with either a hallucinated Phoenix or an Observer, blinking up and just saying, you know, what's going on, let's attack inside the Zerg main, out of nowhere. And it could be very, very deadly, and you can transition into Colossus after that, because of course the Colossus can just take this route down as well and just go down the back. So, yeah, it's an interesting map, and of course more of a standard way to play is to see a Protoss take sort of, this is the third, sometimes people like to get this. I sort of prefer this one here. It's a little bit easy to defend, and you know, Stargate play, Robo play, all that sort of thing. Zergs like to do you know, roaches and Zerglings and all that kind of standard sort of stuff. There's nothing really different on this that makes any other sort of strats sort of hugely beneficial for a Zerg, like a crazy sort of, you know, sort of Ling Infester Baneling or something like that makes it, you know, better on this map. The only thing is that if you do take this third, you obviously have to be careful, as we mentioned in the previous game, about mutas bouncing between the third and the main, sometimes even the natural if you're not careful. But speaking of not being careful, a probe getting sniped down by Chan there, very nicely done from him. And as we can see, as sorry, I'm just reading what's going on in chat. But HoneyBadger gets the Nexus up anyway, gateway going up. He is also blocked off the Zerg for a little bit of time from getting his expansion, but does get it up eventually. There's a few Lings out. I'm a little bit surprised there are that many Lings out from RoChan there, but interesting. Yeah, like once the Hellions had killed all those Lings, the game was pretty much over, whether it was stream cheating or not. Anyway, looks like HoneyBadger's got his cannon up quite nicely. Going to keep that probe alive and outside. Going to send it across to scout out what's going on at this possible third base for the Zerg. But I think that Chen might be prepared for this. He's going to have Lings in the middle of the map here. He's even going to catch out that probe before it gets too far, and he might be able to stop it from getting across to the third base, but it's not going to be too much of a problem because he's not really going for that just yet. As we can see, he hasn't taken either of his gases yet, but he may try and head across and get that third base, or he may even take this inner base here. I don't know if it's something to do with C, but a lot of the Zergs that I've played against in PvZ have taken this inner base compared to the base up the top there, where on NA everyone likes to take that base up the top, so I don't know what's going on with that, but the probe does get inside now. Wolfgate Tech is on the way for HoneyBadger. Does get through, sees that the Queen is out. Nothing really too much more to find of what was going on there for HoneyBadger. So he's just continuing to probe up, putting down a couple of chronos on his Nexus to make sure that the probes are coming out in a quick fashion. And as we can see, looks as if he's going to pick up the tech right in the middle here. I would assume he's going to put something down right here. It does let you get a good position on killing the Overlord before it gets too far in. And now, as we can see, HoneyBadger having a little bit of a fight with some of these Lings here in the middle of the map. One last Ling is left, and it is going to get the kill. And nicely done there by that Ling. He's a Predator. Look at that. He's a Predator. Yeah. Looks like we're going to have a Stargate follow-up from HoneyBadger. Not a big fan of the position of the Stargate, though. I'm pretty sure that blocks the ramp, which I don't know, that could be good. Like if you want to make sure that the Zerg has to go all the way around here, but oh, I don't know. Anyway, Phoenix follow up, a couple of gates as well. He's got 3 of his gas, so I don't think he's going to commit too hard to these Phoenix. He certainly could if he wanted to, but I don't know, we'll have to find out in a minute. Sort of depends on what other units he picks up. Like, he is getting a couple of sentries here. We got 1 Phoenix out. He's just going to scout around to see what's going on at the third base. You can see that there's nothing really too damaging there. He's now going to try and find these Overlords. Now, normally you would have Overlords sort of sitting around here, perhaps one over here if he's a little bit daring, and then as we saw HoneyBadger try and find, another one sort of normally sits up here. So, interesting to see that Chan has not picked up those sorts of... he hasn't really gone for those positions on the Overlords just yet. But now back at his side of the map, he's grabbed his extractors. We've got the lair on the way. Roach Warren is done. We're going to have the Roaches coming out, of course. I would assume very, very quickly as soon as that Roach Warren is done. But there are 3... It's going to be 4 Phoenix. So he's going to go up to a little bit of a higher Phoenix count. Perhaps he'll sort of go, I would assume, to about 5. 5 is a sort of standard amount if you want to use Phoenix to do your harassment right at the start of the game. Meanwhile, the worker count looking good for RoChan, up at 53 drones. Going to need just a little bit more. He's got 8 more on the way. And then once he gets that nice amount going, he'll be in a very nice spot to continue on with his build, of course, presumably revolving around roaches. As we can see, +1 to the missile attacks is on the way. Some roaches have spawned from the hatcheries. We've now got a spore crawler at each of the bases just to make sure that the Phoenix can't do too much damage, but these ones are going to get inside. They're probably going to pick up the Queen and maybe even kill her if he's cool. Okay, that was a little bit odd. He's just tried to singularly pick up some of those Phoenix there, but now he's killed a few of those drones, as we can see on the worker kill tab. 6 drones killed, not too bad there for HoneyBadger, but he is going to find some of these random Overlords. One sitting here in this position just gets picked off. Is he going to be able to find some more of them? There are a couple in the middle section of the map here and at the back as well. What I would really like to see from HoneyBadger is just scouting out to see exactly what is going on, if the third base is here, and if anything scary is on the way, because as we can see, it looks like he's going to try and take his third base. Now, the one thing as a Protoss you've got to be very scared of is a Zerg who's doing this Roach Link style. Of course, we call this, generally call this the Stefano style, with those Roaches and Lings, and try and pretty much just do your best to try and deny the Protoss from getting a third base. And HoneyBadger doing a nice job getting some harassment done here, and it looks as if he is going to be able to get this base established. He's got 2 models are out. There's one sitting in the natural, and there is one down here at the third. A couple of sentries here is the sort of the big component of this. And now he's actually forced an extra spore crawler at this third base. So that's some really good harassment here from HoneyBadger, because he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. And he's going to see that these roaches are now moving out again. Perhaps grabs a drone. Yes, he does. Beautiful little snipe here. He's even going to grab a couple of these Overlords. RoChan just a little bit flustered perhaps with his positioning of his units. Going to lose that Overlord. Luckily, he's doing quite nicely on his supply count at the moment. But now, as we can see, it looks as if he's getting ready to attack. 26 Lings are on the way. He does have that, that nice total of 59 drones. He perhaps will lose a couple more if he's not careful. But he is going to lose some roaches, perhaps, to those Phoenix. It's not every day you see Phoenix consistently picking off roaches, but as we can see now, Blink is on the way from that Twilight Council Robotics Bay at the back of the base. A couple of gates as well, so he's up to a total of 6 gates. We'll probably see a... I would love to see a gateway wall here. I don't know why he hasn't done it just yet, but RoChan has decided that expansion is the better way to counter these Phoenix, and I tell you what, it probably is a really good way to counter them. But as we can see, looks as if the attack is coming in. No force fields were put down, but now the Zerg is free to head up through the middle section, and now these Phoenix need to be brought back if he wants to make sure he can capitalize on taking down some of these units here. And now, looks as if the Protoss is well prepared for everything here. HoneyBadger coming out, puts down 2 beautiful force fields here at the top of the ramp, and now segments those roaches, cuts down a whole bunch of them, and now HoneyBadger looking very, very nice here. He's going to have to contend with 5 Mutalisks that are on the way, but he's dealt with so many of those units here, and that has really cut down the potential power that RoChan had for attacking here. With the Mutalisks out, he'll be able to perhaps put HoneyBadger on the back foot, but as we can see, HoneyBadger picking up another forge to make sure he can get his extra upgrades. In fact, okay, he's got +1 weapons. I was like, does he have any upgrades?